Hello and welcome. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Captain Fantastic, a 2016 family drama and coming-of-age story. This film follows Ben Cash and his unique journey of raising his children Bo, Vesper, Keller, Relian, Zaya, and Nye in the depths of the forest. Here, Ben has created a world where they live off the land and develop skills rarely taught in the modern world. Their lives are filled with rigorous self-defense training, daily exercise, hunting, and intense intellectual pursuits, from reading college-level texts to engaging in deep discussions on philosophy and politics. Together, they sing, dance, and navigate the challenges of their unconventional lifestyle, which teaches them resilience, independence, and the power of critical thinking. Keep watching and enjoy this captivating exploration of family and self-discovery. The Cash children, ranging from an older teen to a toddler, are homeschooled and brought up in deep isolation, making them surprisingly well-versed in subjects that even many adults find challenging. Each night, they gather around the campfire where their father, Ben, quizzes them on their readings, pressing them to dive into the deeper meanings within the stories. But their close-knit world is suddenly shaken. The next day, Ben ventures into town to call his sister Harper for an update on his wife, Leslie, who has been hospitalized for several months. Instead, a tearful Harper delivers devastating news: Leslie has taken her own life. Ben, grappling with the grief of losing his wife, calls Leslie's father, Frank, to inform him of Leslie's final wishes. As a practicing Buddhist, Leslie wanted her body to be cremated rather than buried. But instead of understanding, Frank responds with anger, blaming Ben for ruining Leslie and fiercely rejecting her wishes. Tensions escalate as Frank delivers a harsh ultimatum, warning Ben that if he dares to show up at Leslie's funeral, he'll have him arrested. With a heavy heart, Ben gathers his children to share the tragic news of their mother's death. He tells them that not only has she taken her own life, but their grandfather blames him for her suicide and has forbidden them from attending her funeral. The children are shocked and heartbroken, having clung to the hope that she would soon return to them. The grief becomes too much for young Relian, who, overwhelmed with anger, grabs a knife and screams at his father, cursing him and blaming him for their mother's death. The family's world, once so united, begins to unravel under the weight of their sorrow and anger. Ben initially decides they'll stay home, telling his kids they won't attend their mother's funeral and that life will carry on as usual. But as he looks into their sad, angry faces, he begins to question his decision, feeling the weight of Leslie's final wishes. The next morning, he gathers everyone and announces they're going on a mission to honor their mom's wishes and save her from a funeral that goes against everything she wanted. The children cheer, excitement replacing sorrow, and soon they pile onto their tricked-out school bus turned mobile home, setting off together on a journey to fulfill their mother's last request. As they journey toward their mother's funeral, the Cash kids experience capitalist America firsthand, sparking lively discussions with Ben about consumer culture and the country's focus on materialism. When it comes time to eat, Ben steers clear of restaurants and fast food places, telling the children that such places don't serve real food. Instead, they rely on their hunting skills to find game. Eventually, they head to a grocery store for a covert mission they call Operation Free the Food, an elaborate act of shoplifting that challenges them to question society's values and explore Ben's lessons on independence and survival. After a successful Operation Free the Food, the family gathers for a feast, and Ben has a surprise in store: gifts of knives and hunting gear to celebrate their version of Christmas, Noam Chomsky's birthday. For the Cash family, Noam Chomsky Day holds special significance, honoring intellect and independence rather than consumerism. Most of the children are thrilled by the gifts and the unique celebration, though Relian's joy is subdued. Yet, in this moment, the family revels in their unconventional holiday, a blend of rugged survival and deep-rooted ideals that sets them apart from the world around them. Relian, frustrated and weary of their unconventional life, vents to his father, asking why they can't just celebrate Christmas like everyone else. He's tired of always being different and longs for a taste of normal, Ben listens, then calmly challenges Relian to explain why they should celebrate a commercial holiday instead of honoring a real person, someone who's made genuine contributions to society. Relian struggles to respond, caught off guard by his father's reasoning, and ultimately walks away, feeling the weight of his conflicted feelings about their unique way of life. When Ben and the kids arrive at his sister Harper's home, they sit down to dinner with her family, who are quickly taken aback by the Cash family's unusual behavior. 8-year-old Zia casually asks for wine, and Ben, unfazed, agrees, seeing it as natural. Harper immediately objects, but Ben defends his choice, explaining that children in Europe drink small amounts of wine as it aids digestion and it's certainly not the same as crack. Curious, Zia then asks what crack is, and Ben matter-of-factly explains, leaving Harper's family both astonished and uncomfortable with the Cash family's candid, free-spirited approach to life. The evening takes an uncomfortable turn when one of Harper's children innocently asks how Leslie died. Harper's husband, Dave, tries to shield the kids, gently explaining that Leslie got sick, avoiding the painful truth. But Ben cuts in, straightforwardly telling everyone, kids included, that Leslie died from mental illness and took her life by slitting her wrists. His bluntness shocks the room, prompting Harper to storm out in anger. Left alone at the table, Ben and his children raise their glasses in a quiet, somber toast to honor Leslie's memory, reflecting their unconventional but deeply felt love for her. The next day, the tension rises as Dave and Harper voice their worries about Ben and his children's unconventional lifestyle. Harper insists that the kids are living in suboptimal conditions, arguing they need a normal upbringing. But Ben passionately defends their way of life, explaining that he's teaching them essential skills: navigation, survival, and independence that schools often overlook. To drive his point home, Ben calls over Harper's high school-aged sons, Jackson and Justin, and quizzes them on the Bill of Rights, only to find they know nothing about it. This moment highlights the contrasting values of the two families and raises questions about what it truly means to be educated. Ben then turns to Zaya, quizzing her about the Bill of Rights, and to everyone's surprise, she articulately explains its significance and even lists its contents, leaving the adults impressed. Harper, realizing her point has been made, concedes that the kids do have a solid education. Later, they leave to camp out in a trailer park, where the eldest son, Beau, encounters a girl named Claire for the first time, someone outside his close-knit family. As they talk and connect, they share a tentative kiss, but Beau finds himself at a loss for words. With his knowledge primarily rooted in politics, anthropology, and philosophy, it becomes clear that he and Claire have little in common, leaving Beau feeling both exhilarated and uncertain about this new experience. Beau can't help but reflect on the magical few hours he spent with Claire, monologuing about how special their time together felt and, in a burst of youthful enthusiasm, even asks for her hand in marriage. Claire is taken aback, both flattered and bewildered by the unexpected proposal, yet she appreciates the sentiment behind it. Meanwhile, as the funeral ceremony unfolds, the Cash family arrives dressed in flamboyant, colorful attire, immediately turning heads. Ben strides to the front, interrupting the Reverend with an air of conviction, and boldly declares that Leslie was a Buddhist who practiced her beliefs as a philosophy rather than a religion. He passionately explains that Leslie despised organized religion and would have chosen cremation over a traditional burial, asserting her wishes in front of everyone gathered. Ben stands before the crowd, his heart heavy as he speaks out against the notion that Leslie would have wanted a formal eulogy delivered by someone who hardly knew her. He pulls out her last will and testament, revealing her wish for a celebration of life filled with music, singing, and dancing, rather than a somber ceremony. He goes on to shock everyone further by stating that she desired her ashes to be disposed of in a public place, even suggesting they be flushed down the nearest toilet. This revelation sends shockwaves through Leslie's family, and her father angrily calls for security. Just as Ben tries to continue, he is abruptly dragged away, leaving chaos in his wake. Outside the church, a tense reunion unfolds as Leslie's parents come face to face with Ben's children for the first time in years, a meeting filled with unresolved emotions and years of separation. Leslie's father, Frank, storms up to Ben, his voice seething with anger as he demands that he leave immediately, threatening to call the police if Ben doesn't comply. With the tension escalating, Ben and the kids reluctantly back away, knowing that if he gets arrested, their family's hopes could crumble. Later that night, in the quiet darkness, Relian confides in Bo, voicing his troubling belief that their father is dangerous. He recalls how their mother had hallucinations and suggests that it was Ben who drove her to madness. Bo, shaken, vehemently denies Relian's claims, but Relian presses on, accusing him of idolizing their father and insisting that he's blind to the truth behind the facade of perfection Ben presents. Deeply unsettled by Relian's accusations, Bo confronts Ben, holding up his acceptance letters from prestigious schools like Yale, Stanford, Princeton, Harvard, MIT, and Brown to Ben. This feels like a betrayal, a sign that Bo has been lying and sneaking behind his back. But Bo counters with a revelation. It was their mother who helped him navigate this journey, not Ben. As he reflects on his fleeting moment with Claire, a stark realization washes over him. He and his siblings have been raised like outcasts, their education confined to books and ideas that Ben deems acceptable, leaving them woefully unprepared for the realities of the world outside. They have grown up sheltered, knowing little of real experiences, and Bo grapples with the truth that their knowledge, as expansive as it may seem, has been limited by their father's narrow vision. Ben soon learns that Relian has run away to stay with Leslie's parents, and he feels a desperate urge to bring him back. However, when he confronts Relian, the boy firmly refuses to return home, prompting Frank to call the police yet again, forcing Ben to back away. In a bid to retrieve Relian without further confrontation, Ben sends Vesper on a covert mission to persuade her brother to come back. Unfortunately, the operation goes awry, and Vesper injures herself in the process, necessitating an emergency room visit. When the medical results come back, Ben is stunned to discover that Vesper had been mere millimeters from death. Thankfully, the doctor reassures him that she is healthy and surprisingly strong for her age, leaving Ben both relieved and shaken by the close call. As Vesper recovers, she and Ben, along with the other children, temporarily move in with their grandparents, providing a rare opportunity for the family to bond and reconnect. However, as time passes, Ben grows increasingly troubled, feeling the weight of his past decisions. One evening, he gathers the kids and reveals his concerns, telling them they might be better off staying with their grandparents, especially after the near-tragic incident with Vesper. He admits to them that he fears he could ruin their lives just as he unintentionally ruined Leslie's. Ben opens up about how he believed moving to the woods would help Leslie heal, but in the end, it did nothing to improve her condition, leaving him to grapple with the painful truth that his good intentions may have only led to more suffering. In a moment of clarity, Ben makes the difficult decision to leave his children in the care of their grandparents, with Frank reassuring him that he's doing the right thing. Feeling the weight of his choices, he sets off alone, finding solace by a campfire as he tries to process everything. To his surprise, he discovers all the kids have stowed away in the bus, refusing to be left behind. Relian, his anger simmering beneath the surface, confesses to Ben that his frustration stems from a longing to have done more to save their mother. Understanding his son's pain, Ben admits he wishes he could have done more for Leslie, leading to a heartfelt reconciliation between them. United in their grief, the children express their determination to continue their mission, vowing to honor their mother's wishes regarding her burial, a commitment that reignites their sense of purpose as a family. The family lovingly gathers around Leslie's body, adorning her with flowers as the children take turns caressing her and weeping in quiet sorrow. With heavy hearts but a shared sense of purpose, they drive to a cliff that overlooks the vast ocean, where they construct a beautiful funeral pyre to honor her life. As they celebrate, the air fills with music, laughter, and vibrant dancing transforming the somber occasion into a joyous celebration of life and its many cycles. In a fitting tribute to Leslie's wishes, they culminate the ceremony by flushing her ashes down a public toilet, a final act of defiance against the constraints of traditional mourning, ensuring her spirit is set free in the most unconventional yet meaningful way. As B.O. prepares to embark on his life-changing journey to Namibia, Ben takes a moment to offer some final pieces of advice, hoping to impart a little wisdom before his son sets off into the world. B.O. smiles warmly, assuring his father that he already knows all he needs, a testament to the solid upbringing he's received. With a sense of pride and anticipation, the family settles into a quaint wooden cabin where they continue to thrive in their unique lifestyle, immersed in reading, exercising, and training together. Their days are filled with adventure and discovery, a vibrant tapestry of learning and growth. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for watching.